Welcome to New York LawHelp's Internet Fraud, Crimes and Prevention Area. Online identity theft is on the rise in New York. This short video will show you how to find information about identity theft and how to report the crime if you believe you've become a victim. There are many ways to be victimized by identity theft. Criminals use a variety of tactics to steal a person's identity online. Sometimes the criminal will send a fraudulent email that looks like it comes from your bank or another company. The email may tell you that your bank account needs to be verified and that you should click on a link in the email to provide your username and password, and may even include a threat such as, if you don't provide this information immediately, your account will be closed. Another scam announces, "Congratulations, you're the grand prize winner of a foreign lottery." The email then states that all you have to do to redeem your prize is respond to the email with your name, address, and social security number. When you receive an email request like these for personal information, never click reply. Never enter personal information in fields within the email message, and never click on links or attachments in the email. Sometimes identity theft victims discover that they were victimized days, months, or even years after the initial crime occurred. Here are some of the most common clues that may indicate that you've become a victim. Were you approved or denied credit for an account that you never requested? Even though you've maintained good credit, have you been denied credit for a new account? Have you noticed that some of your mail seems to be missing, or that some credit card statements have stopped coming? Does your credit card statement include charges for things you never bought? If you think that you're the victim of identity theft, the first step is to collect all the information you know about what happened and write it down. Keep a hard copy of the information in a safe place so you won't forget any details. Contact any bank or business where you have an account or where an account was opened in your name. Speak to the fraud department directly. Alert the company about the problem and ask them to take immediate steps to prevent further fraud. Follow up in writing. You can find sample letters for this purpose on this website. Keep track of everyone you contact and take notes about these conversations. For example, you might want to make an initial call to the police right away. Once you've learned more about the full extent of the crime, you'll need to visit the police station to get a police report. This special log sheet was developed by the Neighborhood Economic Development Advocacy Project to help you keep track of your conversations with banks, creditors, credit bureaus, and the police. Also keep track of all expenses incurred to reclaim your good name. The Federal Trade Commission's ID Theft Affidavit is a form that helps you explain to the police, credit bureaus, and banks what happened and why you believe your identity has been stolen. The ID Theft Affidavit is available in English and Spanish and can help you later when you file a police report. Together with your police report, the affidavit provides the details you need to create an identity theft report, which you send to the credit bureaus and creditors to maximize your recovery. Next, place an initial fraud alert on your credit file and get a free copy of your credit report from each of the 3 credit bureaus so you can check for problems and compare the 3 reports to make sure that they contain the same information. This initial fraud alert stays in your file for 90 days and should be used even if you just suspect your identity has been compromised. An initial fraud alert on your file lets potential creditors and others know that you may be the victim of identity theft. It makes it harder for someone to get credit in your name because it directs creditors to follow certain procedures to protect you. Be aware that this also may delay your own ability to get credit. You can place a fraud alert by calling one of the 3 credit bureaus. It will immediately notify the other 2 to place a fraud alert in your file, and you will be offered a free credit report. Contact information for the credit bureaus can also be found in the Identity Theft and Your Credit area of this website. After you place a fraud alert, it's time to get and review copies of your credit report. Remember, when you place an initial fraud alert, you're entitled to 1 free credit report from each of the 3 credit bureaus, and victims who place extended fraud alerts on their credit files are entitled to 2 additional copies each year so that they can continue to monitor their report more closely. You can order these free reports by responding to the letter they send you when you place the fraud alert. Also, by federal law, all consumers are entitled to a free copy of their credit report from all 3 credit bureaus once a year, even if they already received a free report because they filed a fraud alert. One easy way to take advantage of this right and get all 3 reports quickly is by visiting www.annualcreditreport.com, a website operated by all 3 credit bureaus. This site is the only one authorized to fill orders for the free annual credit report. There are many other websites that claim to provide free credit reports, free credit scores, or free credit monitoring that are not part of the federally mandated program and may actually come with hidden charges or subscriptions of services that you did not intend to sign up for. You can also get your credit reports by calling the Annual Credit Report Request Service toll-free at 1-877-322-8228. Hearing impaired consumers can access via TDD service at 1-877-730-4104. Review your credit reports for signs of identity theft, such as address changes or new authorized users that you did not approve. These identity theft and your credit resources help with reading and understanding your credit report, including this one from the Identity Theft Resource Center, with tips on what kinds of information you should expect to see on your report. As you learn new details, add them to your ID theft affidavit. If you know the type of ID theft that happened to you, such as a stolen Social Security number, or if you think your mail has been stolen, there may be some extra steps needed to report these crimes, so see other resources in this area for specific information. The next step is to call or visit your local or state police to file a report. New York state law now requires that police create a report when the crime of identity theft is reported. Bring a copy of the ID theft affidavit with you so the police can incorporate that information into the police report. You'll need the police report to prove to the consumer credit bureaus that you were a victim of identity theft. Sometimes, law enforcement officials may not realize the importance of filing a police report about identity theft. In case this happens, advise them that the law requires them to do so. Also, the Federal Trade Commission provides a letter to law enforcement officials that explains your rights as a consumer. Print it out at the end of this video and take it with you to the police station. You also have the right to ask the credit bureaus to block any incorrect information from appearing on your credit report. If you are an identity theft victim, you have a right under federal law to not be pursued by debt collectors. When this information is blocked, creditors will not see those debts, late payments, or other incorrect information that were caused by the identity thief, and your credit score will be corrected. We have sample letters prepared by the FTC for requesting a block. To block the information, you must provide an identity theft report to the credit bureaus. An identity theft report is made up of the police report together with an ID theft affidavit. Remember when we told you about the different kinds of fraud alerts? An extended alert stays in your file for 7 years and requires a creditor to contact you before they issue any new credit. If you ask for an extended alert, you will have to provide your identity theft report. You may also want to request a New York State security freeze, which prevents credit bureaus from sharing your file with most lenders and businesses until you specifically allow them access. A freeze makes it harder to get new credit cards, bank loans, and other accounts because you'll have to lift the freeze, which may take some time. Also, landlords and employers who may require a copy of your credit report may not be given access to it until you first lift the freeze. The security freeze is free if you're a victim of identity theft, or if you're making this request for the first time. Subsequent requests for a security freeze may cost up to $5. Now that you've alerted the accounts that were affected by identity theft and the credit bureaus, make sure to tell all your other banks and credit card companies that you were the victim of identity theft with another account, so that they can take steps to protect your account. All companies have a general duty to help detect identity theft and prevent it from occurring. Keep an eye on your accounts and your credit reports. If you notice any further problems on them, you must follow the steps outlined previously. Number 1. Update your ID theft affidavit. Number 2. Update or get a new police report. Number 3. File a new ID theft report with credit bureaus. Number 4. File a new ID theft report with the company or bank that's billing you for the fraudulent charges. You can use the same sample letters that we mentioned earlier for these purposes. Send these as soon as possible via certified mail, return receipt requested. After you report the problem to the police and the businesses where you have accounts, you may want to review the other victim resources we have. For example, people often get justifiably upset when their identity is stolen. You can find resources on our site about the emotional impact of identity theft and the common feelings that victims have. Remember, identity theft is on the rise in New York State, so you are not alone. We also provide links to many credit fraud prevention tools. Go to the Identity Theft and Your Credit subtopic, select your county or zip code, and click on the Know Your Rights tab. The first set of resources covers prevention. Thank you for watching. We hope that the information in this video has been helpful. Our site includes many resources about internet fraud and crimes. We hope that you'll take some time to fully explore the site and learn about the various ways you can avoid identity theft and other internet crimes.